everyone, it's Erin Sorensen with Hail Varsity. I am joined by Greg Smith, recruiting analyst, also of Hail Varsity, and we are live in Memorial Stadium this week.
We are back.
We're back! Greg, how are you?
I am very well. I'm happy to be outside, and it's actually nice and warm, so I'm in a very good mood.
It's great. And we thought because we are here for football practice that we would go ahead and do the recruiting question of the week live from Memorial Stadium really quick. So Greg, this week's question comes from Jim, and he wants to know, he's feeling like the 2022 class is not going to be a top 25 class for Nebraska. He wants to know if he's alone in this.
Boy, that's tough. Okay, so I would say if you think back to last year, at this point, we probably didn't think that that class is going to be a top 25 class, and it probably ended up 18 to 20-ish range, right, depending on where you look. So while it feels slower right now, there's still a chance. I would say that this year, I think that we're going to get to the season and you're still going to feel like you're behind a little bit, and maybe it'll be tough for them to get there. But depending on how the season goes, I think Nebraska could surge this year. But I think this year, more than any other season under Coach Frost, the season is going to have a huge impact on what they do recruiting.
Right, and we even heard a little bit of that from the coaches. Even Coach Held was talking about just watching junior college recruiting,
right,
and how that is going to be totally different this year because he's having to watch it right now in his free time, essentially. So it feels like it might feel slow right now, but there's so much ahead.
Yeah, there's still a lot of time, and remember, I keep saying to people too, I think the game will change a little bit once visits are allowed again, right? And so you'll have a really good sense of which prospects are higher up on Nebraska's board, vice versa, which prospects really like Nebraska. Once we see who's coming to visit different places, that'll tell you a lot. But as we saw last week, you never know, because Nebraska got a commitment totally out of the blue
Surprise
that no one saw coming. Yeah, and Victor Jones Jr., wide receiver out of Florida. So there are always players that Nebraska has their eye on and have their eye on Nebraska that we don't quite know about, which also makes it exciting. So we'll see how it plays out.
And we also will know a lot once we have a little bit of a better idea with the recruiting dead period. If it really is lifted June 1st, that could make ththings roll pretty quickly.
Right, that will definitely change things. And then once camps are starting to be allowed to happen as well, if that happens, because then once coaches get a better evaluation of guys, people's rankings will change, the boards will change, your needs will change. So there's a lot still to happen with this 2022 class.
Now, if you're somebody who's like, I want to hear more, I want to know more from Greg, absolutely, we hear you. He will have more on this in the recruiting notebook Monday night, 6 p.m. Central. But you should just bookmark that all the time. It's Sunday through Thursday, 6 p.m. Central on hailvarsity.com, presented by Pinnacle Bank. Thank you, Pinnacle Bank. So definitely check that out this evening. He'll dive into it more. But no, Jim, I don't think you're alone. But the answer is we just have to give it more time.
Yeah, we'll see. Because like I said, at this point last year, last class wasn't looking as hot either. There were a couple more commits, and then it really took off, bolstered by that huge December. You could end up seeing something similar. It could pick up sooner than that. You just never know.
So we will be back next week. If you have a question, go ahead and leave it in the comments below in this video. You can tweet it at Greg Smith HV on Twitter, at Hail Varsity. You can leave it in the comments on Facebook. Send a carrier pigeon. It's certainly windy enough for it. But we will be back next week, probably here at Memorial Stadium. So thank you for joining us as always. Thank you, Jim, for your question. Greg, thank you for your time and your expertise.
Thank you.